the rock that you're at is the upper left point. The points of magnetic distortion, yes, obviously form a pentagram on the map, with the top point being at Thunderhead Mesa.
So what would be in the center of this pentagram?
You don't know. But as a detective, you could find out, as could Janie. Because you're a straight-A student. You're good at research.
I'm a straight-A student, and I'm a rock climber, so this is not my first time in this area. I'm very accomplished, right? So
yeah,
obviously.
So okay, give me those rolls.
87, not that accomplished. Even a flip-flop won't help.
Can I try just a knowledge roll?
Sure.
My knowledge is 55. I rolled a 58.
You could try using a passion for a reroll.
You tell me, can I somehow play this on my noble goal that I'm very concerned that this young girl is maybe being exploited by something very powerful?
Sure, yeah. Would it work if you flip-flopped it? Probably not.
No, and I rolled a worse roll, 68.
These computers are so frustrating, and there's no Wi-Fi, so you're like on, and this is back on like 2G, so it's just, you got a little thing spinning, and you're not, yeah.
You see me staring at the screen, trying to like will some of this supernatural stuff that comes to me sometimes, and I'm just like...
I'm going to approach the car, and I'm already taking like a very conciliatory stance. I'm not surprising her by like walking up and appearing in the window, because if Carol doesn't know and Jane doesn't know, I think Barbara might be the best, and my noble is accepting people as they are, where I can re-roll or flip-flop to oil over some differences, like me being snide to you in the desert. So I'm wondering if I can talk her down like into a rational level to think about this kind of thing and see if she can give me just a wild answer. Doesn't have to be scientific.
Give me a connect roll. And do any of your identities substitute for connect?
No. I've got the demon detection.
Not really a people person except as they relate to having clothes put on them.
I'm using my passions, so I'll flip-flop that to an 18.
What you need to do is approach her as the two of you are logical people engaging with reason and not emotion, and you're not playing social games. You are trying to execute a research project. If you come at her trying to if you come at her like you're trying to seduce her or oil her up, she's immediately going to be suspicious because you have ignored her so much so far. But if you come at her saying, this is an intellectual problem and I recognize that you have the tools to solve it, that's what'll get you where you want to go.
So I'll knock on the window and wait for her to roll it down, because there's no way she has electric windows on this Jeep. That's just not her vibe, I don't think.
No. She's like, so yeah, the data seems to conform the pattern. It's very disturbing.
Can data be disturbing? What's your thesis, Doctor?
I mean, data, everything we do is based on data. If I find, if you found out the data that your husband was cheating on you, that would be very disturbing data. Or your wife, or whatever. Your partner, spouse. Anyway, this is confirming a pattern beyond a lot of margin of error. It's shockingly tight. It looks faked. It looks like someone set this up as a hoax, but it would be a very elaborate hoax, especially since 3 of these data points I've confirmed myself with this. And she raps on her U-shaped device.
Weren't you saying earlier that the meteorite and someone might have moved it?
Wow, that would be weird. I mean, it would not. I don't think even a very powerful magnetized meteorite would have to be huge to give these kind of results.
So you're saying P greater 0.005? Yeah. I'm using the 4 science words I know to try to speak her language and make her feel important and set her brain off on this.
This is like Val stuff.
1 eyebrow arches. What do you mean?
Val is always talking about this weird spiritual stuff and telling me that science isn't the answer, that we have to reach into the soil with our souls to grow true wisdom, and sounding like, I don't even know what, like some new age goofball. And, telling me that these little loaves of nut bread are gonna purify my essence.
We'll say at this point, I do want to wave the others over if they have not. I needed to do the apology bit alone, but now that the pavement's been smoothed, we need to be all 4 brains together here.
She's just glaring at this pentagram like it has personally offended her. So are one of you going to ask her, what do you suppose is in the middle?
Yeah, that's why I'm inviting those 2 over before I get to that answer. And I think it'd be very dramatic timing that as they arrive, and once I see them out of the corner of my eye. So, just hypothesis here, right? Spitting out some theory. What would be in the middle of this?
Well, let's check the land records. Okay, plats. Okay, it's unincorporated land. It's private property. Owner of record is Dick Enterprises. Dick Kraus.
Does that name mean anything to me?
He's one of the Thunderstruck people. He was the cop. This cannot possibly... Get in the car.
Where are we going?
Apparently, Dick Enterprises. This was the guy who was hit in 2006.
I kind of give Janie a bit of a look, and I just say, you want to do this?
Should I not?
I don't know. That's your choice to make.
We talked to one of the other Thunderstruck people, and, it got us here. So, yeah. I don't think that following this lead is going to tell me what happened to the rest of my time, but it's a fun mystery, isn't it?
I give Quinn a bit of a look, and I just say, that's what she wants.
If that's what she wants.
All right then, Barbara. Let's get in. You drive.
All right. As she's driving, she's like muttering, and then suddenly she like jerks the steering wheel and gives this alarmed yelp. And she's like, ah! Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, it was a snake. I should know that snakes can't hurt a Jeep. But yeah, they freak me out. Sorry. One time, the first place that I got the reading, the southwest corner of the pentagram. When I dug up there, it was a rattlesnake nest. Just thousands of snakes writhing and rattling and probably dropping eggs and fucking each other, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life as an adult.
How far did you have to dig to find that?
Oh, not very far. I mean, it was just a low spot in the land. There was an outcropping that made it shady enough for them to take shelter there. And, I got there, I took my measurements before I spotted them. And then I got closer and saw that, and I just got the fuck out of there. Because, no, I'm not having with snakes.
I'm really now sitting back in the car, racking my brain about the symbology of pits of snakes at the edges of pentagrams. Anything I might have experienced before.
Well, I mean, it's the Southwest. Snakes do that shit.
At pentagram locations?
At any location. But in your experience, yeah, energy force, what Val has told you is that the shape of the land determines the flows of energy, and that humans can influence this in a Heisenberg fashion by observing it. And that once you've got that reality, human opinion, mystic reality flow going, things start to distort. You might get poltergeist activity, inexplicable cold spots, or weird pieces of nature like a spot of land that lightning hits a bunch of times, or magnetic anomalies, or snakes.
So I guess Carol is just, as we're driving, just frustrated, really. I'm just trying to piece together, is this all seeming a little ritualistic? As in, is all this starting to come together that maybe if a few more things happen, the ritual could be completed and something will happen?
Either that or the ritual was completed hundreds of years ago and you're just seeing it continuing to do whatever it is it does.
I don't know which one's better. For now, I'll just lean back in the car and clearly to everyone's look a little bit broody.
Brooding intensifies. Janie's phone rings.
Who's calling?
Hugo!
I'm not gonna answer it.
Can I ask what Hugo's ringtone is? Because I know you have a special one for Hugo.
One of his favorite movies is Grease. He has loved that story for as long as I can remember. And when we were in high school, we were at the talent show, as you usually do, and he and his buddies did Grease Lightning. And he insisted that Grease Lightning was his ringtone. And hearing it now, I'm not sure I find it funny, to be honest with you. But here we are. As soon as I see it's Hugo, I'm not interested in answering it right now. I'm still mad at him for trying to get me to leave, and I don't know, if he calls again and again, maybe eventually I'll just either answer it or throw my phone out the window.
You are getting this pattern of Hugo wants X from you, and you want not X.
Yeah, it's really funny how that works, huh? So while my phone is ringing and ringing and ringing, I just have one question. Is there anything that I can recall as we talk about the snakes? Anything that stands out with, like, snakes and chickens? Is there some sort of, like...
No, you're just grasping at straws. Nothing's adding up.
Yeah, no, I absolutely am, because these are the only details I have. Digging, snakes, and chickens.
There was also mud.
There was also mud, yes.
Well, that was from digging in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And you're now coming down the highway because, you know, the area of the pentagram circle isn't huge. And, you know, and Barb is putting the hammer down. We're trucking along and, you know, your phone rang and it, you know, Grease Lightning, and you red buttoned it. And like 2 minutes later, Barbara's phone rings, and it's like the default ring for the, that came installed with the phone. And she just picks it up and, drops it in Quinn's lap and says, "Answer that, make yourself useful."
I'm going to answer it. I think I know who it is, and I'm still going to answer it.
Hello? Barbara?
Barbara's driving. It's unsafe to be on your phone when you drive. May I ask who's speaking?
It's Hugo. You know it's Hugo!
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. I just freaked out. I freaked out. I don't think I've ever freaked out like that, okay? You happy now? I freaked out. So you left the rock? Did anything happen? Is Janie hurt?
No, Janie's fine, and I'll turn in the car to look at Janie and Carol in case they had any any doubt of what this phone call was. Barbara said there was some kind of, we had to go investigate a thing. We're just driving to a thing.
I mean, what thing? Where are you guys going? I can meet you there. I didn't go far. I just had to. I mean, that rock was freaking me out, is what it was. And it wasn't the rock qua rock so much as the rock's position in the whole intellectual structure.
Yeah, no, I get it. As he's speaking that last sentence, I'm holding the phone a little bit away from my ear so that people can hear the muted, tinny version of the conversation, because I'm going to ask Janie what she wants to do. Not out loud, but with my eyes. So she can hear him saying, well, yeah, where do I meet you up? I want to be friends again. Let me be with Janie. And if Janie's shaking her head or making gestures, then I will know the correct answer.
I am shaking my head. I have my elbow kind of propped in the window, and I'm holding my head with my hands, and I'm just staring off into the distance, watching the horizon, and just shaking my head and closing my eyes because I can't. I don't see the value right now.
Well, at least you didn't go as far as the cutting the throat gesture.
Well, no, it's not that bad. I'm frustrated at him. I will continue to be frustrated at him.
I'm going to lean into my seventh sense, and again, just it's the breakup talk happening, transpiring through me. Not fully breaking up, obviously I can't do that, but it's very, yeah, buddy, I get it. Your emotions are high, and there are things you care really deeply about, and then when things you don't understand start to interact with those, it gets to be a lot. But I think maybe that instead of letting our emotions kind of run this moment, for you and for Janie, maybe we just give it a little space. Yeah.
No. I know what space means. Okay, why don't you hand the phone to Janie? Let me talk to her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, Hugo.
Come on!
Hugo, you have to understand boundaries, buddy.
I do understand boundaries. I just want to talk to Janie.
Yeah, but do you hear what your voice is doing right now, my guy?
Oh, fuck you.
Click. I just look at Quinn and say, you have a way with words.
2 or 3 of them, anyway.
Having been distracted by the whole creepy-ass ritual thing, satanic whatchamacallit, I kind of slowly start putting together these mundane facts, and I just quickly go, Wait, Quinn, hand me the phone.
I'll look at Barbara, who I'm guessing his eyes on the road and doesn't care. If I hand Carol's the phone, then shrugging, just not even looking back behind me, just reaching behind and holding the phone out in that direction, someone will take it from me.
I reach to take it, flip it open, redial.
While Carol's playing with the phone and before Quinn can pull their arm back, I'm staring out the window a little harder now. I'm turning even farther away from anybody's eye line. And if you actually looked, there's just a little bit, just like a small glint of water in the eyes. Not like tears, but just like a little bit. And I'll just reach up and just really softly grab a hold of Quinn's fingers before they can disappear back into the front seat. Just very softly.
I know it's not Carol, because it's like pulling my hand through a cheese grater with those calluses, but that... I'm not making a big deal of it right away. I don't want to draw attention to it with a sudden gesture, but we'll continue to drive, and with Carol leaning away from us, like one hand up on the ear trying to talk, and Barbara facing, I'll reach with the other hand, like it's my right hand side, back behind, between the door and the seat. And then if Janie notices, then I will give her hand a squeeze.
I do.
Hello?
Hugo?
Hey, Carol.
Where's my truck?
I'm at a Gulp and Go off of Highway 82. State highway, not internet. Yeah. I'm sorry I borrowed your truck without asking permission. That was wrong of me. I'm sorry. needed to not be there, you know? And it looks like y'all left not long after I did, right?
Yeah, I get it, kid. Look, I just need my truck back at some point.
Yeah, thanks for being cool about the truck borrowing. If you tell me where you're going, I'll meet you there. And we can just hand off.
I wrinkle my nose. I briefly look left and forwards.
Quinn is staring up into the rearview mirror, just watching.
We're going to Dick Industries. You familiar with it?
What? Is this a joke?
No. Listen, look up the address. Just get there with my truck, please. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll really softly say, soft enough that it shouldn't be picked up by the phone, but I'll mutter to Carol, Barbara wanted water.
And if you could pick up a good few gallons of water, everyone here would appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I'll grab some Gatorades too. That's smart. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Hugo.
Dick Industries. That's a name. All right. Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you soon. I'll look up where that is. I'll see you soon. I'll get some water from the gas station. Maybe a few Cokes. Sure.
I hang up. I hand the phone back to Janie and I just say, sorry, Val will kill me if a young man is running about with our only truck.
You know exactly how she'd do it, too.
I do.
Knife's about this long with a square end. It's what she does all her slaughtering with. It's unbelievably sharp. So, you're doing the phone stuff, and then you hear Barbara say, well, that must be it. And there is this arch over a turnoff from the county road. And the arch is like kind of put together out of scrap metal. And scrap metal has been not very expertly cut and folded and bolted in place to form letters. And it says Rancho del Dick. And she turns in there and you drive under the arch. And the first thing you see right ahead of you is another structure of probably scrap metal. It's rusty. It's tall. It looks just like a single upright, like a radio tower or a power station or a huge lightning rod. And the second thing you see is a man come out of the house holding a rifle. And he's walking, you're driving towards the house and he starts walking towards you and he kind of tilts his head to the side. And then he, and this rifle is, it's not just like Hugo's shotgun that he uses to scare snakes and go birding. This thing has this huge scope and like all this rail gear and like a flash suppressor on the muzzle and probably a little laser gadget and then also a flashlight gadget. And you wouldn't be surprised if there was a canteen built into the stock. It's a very elaborate rifle and he fires it into the air and then aims it at the truck and says, "Y'all on private property. Hope you know that." And Barbara hits the brakes and sticks her hands out the window and says, "We come in peace." What are the rest of you doing?
I sigh, and I'll give Quinn a little look and say, you're good at dealing with people, aren't you?
While they're talking, I'm actually just going to hop out of the car.
I actually genuinely look quite surprised as Janie just suddenly bursts out of the car, like, the plan? Okay.
His eyes get wide and he drops the gun and he's like, "The blonde! The blonde!" And he starts running. He's just left his probably $920 gun in the dirt and is booking at you, cord sounding out on his neck. As he goes, "The blonde! Did you bring the woman with the U gadget?"
And I'll turn and look at Barbara. And back at Dick, what are you talking? What?
And Barbara is like, gets out and he's like, "You gadget woman! It's all happening!" Who the fuck are these guys?
Friends?
Okay, well, yeah, hey, any friend of the blonde is a friend of old Dick. Come on in. Man, I thought you guys were DEA irregulars or some shit. Come in. Just park anywhere by the lightning rod. That thing doesn't work for shit.
Oh, we got one more friend coming maybe in another 10, 20 minutes. He's with us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, man, whatever.
I'm very confused at this moment. This is a very unique situation.
The rain told me you were coming.
The rain?
Yeah. You've talked to the rain too, haven't you?
Have I?
And he like parts his hair and there's a Lichtenberg scar.
And I'll kind of just scratch at mine because I'm wearing a beanie today, so you can't see it, but I'll just give it a little scratch.
He's like, "Ladies, come inside. You, sir, what can I get you? It's a hot day. Let's grab some drinks. Margarita? Gin and tonic? Margarita?"
I'm alright. So Dick, tell us more. Janie's told us a little about the rain, but she's kept me and my friend here quite in suspense. What can you tell us?
Well, if your name's Janie, hey, it is a genuine honor and a pleasure to meet you, Janie. And it puts his hand out. And when you touch his hand, it's like there's a little static spark.
Oh. Yeah. Janie, hi.
And you are? And he reaches out to Barbara and she's like, "Yeah, my name's Barbara. We talked on the phone. I wanted to talk to you about your experience getting hit by lightning on the Mesa." And he's like, "Oh, that was you?" Listen, back then, it hadn't been brought to my attention that you're important, so I kind of treated you like an asshole. Sorry. It's, people call you out of the blue. You're not expecting them, so you kind of give them the old... And I'm sorry that I did that to you, truly. Do you have the gadget with you? And he's like, "Oh, never, come on, drinks first. Come on inside." And, he holds the door for you, and Barbara goes inside his house and immediately screams at the top of her lungs.
Good scream or bad scream?
It's a bad scream.
Snakes. Gotta be snakes.
Oh no.
What are y'all doing?
I think Quinn is bringing up the rear of this conga line, so it's Janie's gonna see it first and then Carol, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I hear Barbara scream, I'm gonna run and see what the commotion is.
There are aquariums. The front door opens into a living room, and there are 3 aquariums, each with big rattlesnakes. Like, rattlesnakes out in the state of nature get pretty big, but a rattlesnake that lives in a terrarium where a man with ice blue eyes that seem to stare from a place far beyond good and evil, feeding it a big plump rat every time it looks even the slightest bit snacky, they get huge. These snakes are huge, and Barbara is paralyzed with terror staring at one as it lazily raises its head, showing you that these terrariums don't have tops. They're just glass boxes. The snake could probably slither the hell out of there and get into all kinds of mischief. But it's not rattling yet.
I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna grab onto Barbara and try and get her back out of the room because this is not a good place for her.
She is completely unresisting. You take her out to the porch where she bursts into tears and she's like, "Who keep snakes in... Snakes? Who does that? And Dick's like, I think they're cool.
I kind of peer in, give Quinn a bit of a look and say, those are some real big snakes there, Dick.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do I want? Is some kind of little runty snake? And what's the point of that? They're very mellow as long as the air conditioning stays on, you know? When they're cool, it makes... They're not like... I don't keep it to the point where they'd go torpid, because, you know, then they're no fun. But, you know... I don't like busting a sweat every time I have to go downstairs to the basement. And B,
Dick, I'm gonna cut you there, because I'm really interested in what you have to say, but we're in a bit of a time, you know, the rain. When did you start getting interested in collecting big snakes?
Huh? Oh, I don't know, last couple years.
Was it before or after you had your incident with the lightning?
Yeah, but I don't know that they're connected, except that, being hit by lightning was an interesting experience as far as I can remember it, which isn't a lot much, but I feel like it really definitely made me less of a pussy. Can I say that, ma'am? And he looks at Quinn as he says that.
I'm actually gonna butt in and say, no, Dick, you actually can't say that.
I'm sorry, I've been out here. My social skills are a little rusty. I'm on the permanent disability, and I don't get a lot of socialization, you know, business stuff, but security consultant clients are usually, you know, you got a little bit of that macho culture, so my speech may be a little unrestrained, which, again, that also may be the them fan burns in through the noggin.
If you could just do us a really quick favor and just understand that Quinn's pronouns are they, them, that would be super. Just because it's really disrespectful otherwise.
What?
I'm going to pat Janie on the shoulder before this becomes a lecture that I know this.
Have you got extra people in there?
I don't know how to respond to that as an actual human being.
And he stares in your eyes. He's like, you don't right now, but you did at one time, didn't you? You had an old woman, and what she wanted more than anything in the world was to eat clam chowder. This is a dazzle shot. That is absolutely something that happened to you back in your childhood in the cult. That was the least. The least of it was the woman who just wanted to eat clam chowder.
Goes downhill from there.
It goes way downhill from there, and you ate clam chowder till you were sick.
But also, 1,000-yard blue-eyed stare man peering into my soul and other souls. Is that unnatural?
How many unnatural notches have you got?
I got 4.
Oh yeah, let's have one. Let's have a roll. Because it's been a while since someone just peeled you open to that part of your life.
That's a 99.
Okay, so you have 3 options here. You can run away like Hugo did. You can freeze and go internal until I say you've recovered, like Barbara did. She is, sitting on the porch in tears. Or you can freak out and attempt to straight murder this man with your bare hands right now.
Do I have to murder him to completion?
You have to try.
I'm asking because Quinn's fear is losing their privacy. And the idea that 1,000-yard blue-eyed stare man just reached into my soul and pulled out, started like a handkerchief and a magician, just grabbing the first ghost story and going from there. And I mean, Janie, especially, you've never seen me be anything but kind. At the very worst, it is neutral, but my eyes narrow and there's just a beat of consideration, and then it's like throwing a stick into a bear trap, and I fling myself at him, hands Actually, better question. Where's the gun?
The gun is a good 50 steps that way, and you're mad now.
Yeah, his throat is a lot closer than the gun, so I'm on him. Just screaming, how the fucking dare my...
I'm gonna gently try and intercede here.
There's no gentle involved here. All right, give me you've got something that substitutes for struggle, right?
I do, yes. My 7th sense substitutes for struggle.
All right, so roll that.
On an 80, I kind of just take that initial step forward, and then I just see Quinn, and I just go, ugh.
Janie, you just gonna let this play out?
I've been around the jocks long enough to know that when two people throw hands, it's much easier for you to get hurt if you try and get involved. So I'm shocked, absolutely, and I'm going to call out to Quinn in an attempt to maybe snap them out of it, kind of bring them back to reality.
Quinn's way past that brink. All right, what'd you roll?
Sorry, Janie, I can't hear you over the sound of my 08.
So he just kind of cackles, and he's punching you back as you come in. So what was your attack? Were you going to sack, just go in punching, couple lightning quick jabs?
Yeah, I think the idea was to bolt up center of gravity. I think he's a little taller than I am, and then take him to the ground, and then like MMA style mount, and then just in the face until there's nothing left.
Okay, so you're coming in, and he gets a good one to the side of your head, but he's not on balance. Are you initiating a grapple?
Does it count if I'm grappling his throat? Does that count?
You got punched in the head coming in for this, and you have now initiated the grapple. The two of you are kind of careening around his living room. He's like on one knee. You're trying to drive him to the ground.
So we go smashing through the door. I hope it hurts him a ton. I'm guessing it breaks a little bit of the momentum, but we still slam into the opposite edge of the trailer or the room and then bounce back. And I'm going to take that and try to like spin and throw down onto the ground with him. I don't know if in this state of rage, I can consciously avoid Snake. I have like 2 priorities. 1, kill Dick. 2nd, avoid Snake.
You'll avoid snakes if you roll successes.
Yeah, that's where my RAM is being spent, so that's the next move.
All right, give me that roll. Dick is going to try and reverse it. Or actually, no, he's going to try and move you in the other direction. So, that's a big ol' 90.
I got a 63, so I guess that means it's a wash?
Yeah, you're tearing clothes and shaking around. Neither of you succeeded. Are either of the two of you going to do anything? Or are you just like, you could try and move a snake terrarium out of the way. You could try and interpose yourself between them and the snake terrarium.
My noble passion is that I love animals. So the snakes actually do kind of become a little bit of a priority for me as they kind of move around the room. So if it looks like they're heading in the direction of a snake terrarium or getting a little too close, I would like to try and move one of them out of the way or kind of clear a space of snake.
Next roll. We'll see how endangered the snakes are by their continued efforts.
Oh, fuck this guy. 33.
Oh boy. Well, he got an 18. So you get him on his back, and you're about to lace your protectively gloved fingers around his throat when he reaches under your rib cage with his fingers, like gouging in. It's really painful, and supplexes you. So you're still on top. You have the advantage. But you did not, but not the decisive advantage that was in your grasp just for a second.
Seeing Janie go to make sure the snakes are out of the way, I'm trying to assess the situation. I want to know how close Quinn is to possibly killing this person, because that cannot be allowed to happen. No one can be allowed to kill anyone right now, because that's going to be a fucking massive headache.
He's got murder in his eyes. You've How often, how many hardened notches in violence do you have?
Apart from, I think, my one traumatic period of life, only 2.
Okay, how many failed notches do you have in violence?
1.
Okay, so yeah, you're not super experienced with this, but I mean, Quinn, are you grunting anything like, I will fucking kill you?
That's all I'm grunting. It's hands going for the throat, and it's the rage that's not only I will fucking kill you, but also like if you can hear through that and the screaming and the I don't know what noise you make when someone reaches under your ribs and how much it hurts. But in between that, it's definitely giving off the you don't get to look into that part of me. You don't get to see that. I will fucking kill you.
Yeah. Quinn seems pretty far along this path of.
Because due to the lack of violence, I do have a higher connect. I just kind of say, Quinn, this is not helping Janie.
All right. Roll an 01.
You know what? Actually, I rolled a bloody 2.
Yeah, Quinn, it's like from a very long distance away, you hear this Jiminy Cricket-like voice saying, "This isn't the way, mate."
To be fair, emphasis on Janie. Like, it's like, not Janie, but Janie.
I think you had a 1% chance of getting that word in through the head, but right now, Quinn is on the island where the boys smoke cigarettes and turn into donkeys, except it's murder instead.
Give me another roll.
I mean, at this point, the snakes are safely out of harm's way. I'm assuming, at least as far as, because they're not moving around the room anymore. They're more stationary in the center, right?
Kinda. It's not a huge room.
Carol's obviously trying to get Quinn to stop, and that's probably not a bad idea, because usually these things work themselves out by now. One of them will take a punch, the other one will take a punch, and then they'll get up and they'll shake hands and they'll be done. But this is obviously not going to be the case here. So hearing Carol try and talk and Quinn is not responding, I'm gonna go and try and grab Quinn's arm and pull them off of Dick.
Okay. So we were at attacker advantage. So you got Dick on the ground, doing a good job restricting his actions. Oh, hey, and were you gonna take the opportunity to, like, gouge his eyes or anything?
I didn't know that was an option, can I?
This is just ancillary eye gouging, yes. Your thumb's right there, you got the gloves on.
I'm guessing as he's like reaching under the ribs, that's like my grip is sliding, and it's not a clean choke, it's like sliding up the face a little bit, and yeah.
You're not a trained assassin here. Yeah, roll a d10 for me.
10.
You got the little notch on the top of the brow ridge. You fit your thumb just right in there. And he screams like crazy. That's a loud scream. All right, so Janie is attempting to non-homicidify this. You are attempting to escalate to homicide, and Dick is trying to not get homicide dead. So let's see how. Oh dear.
I think I just killed him. I rolled a 33.
You didn't kill him. You got to the point where next round, if you want, you can kill him, but Janie has dragged you back. So you're like, have him down, like yanked his shoulders up and drove them down into the floor to rock his head back against the carpet. And as you're reaching in, it occurs to you that there is some kind of obstruction pulling your arm back. You were so close! But yeah, Janie has...
She downgrades my crit to a regular.
More than that, she just automatically moves you back towards not being able to kill him. But yeah, you know, this is probably as good as it's gonna get as long as she is on you. And your mind will not let go of the idea of killing this dude. So yeah, give me a roll. First though, you do more damage. Give me another d10.
2. And then... 78. That's not gonna do.
Janie, you are gonna continue pulling Quinn back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna grab their arm, and then when there's a little bit of distance, I'm actually gonna put myself in between Quinn and Dick and try and just like snap my fingers and just say, Quinn, what are you doing?
Dick is limp. His eyes are squinched shut, and he is frozen, and he is completely still.
I quickly go over to Dick and try and just begin pulling him away, back further into the house.
He's limp, yeah.
Is he still alive as I check for a pulse?
Give me a knowledge roll.
58.
Out of
55.
Yeah, you're not sure if...
Maybe I'm not a doctor.
You would think that someone who was exerting himself that hard would, their pulse would be going real fast. But maybe not, because, his shirt collar's in the way, and you're not a doctor. And wait, which side is the pulse on? Wait, is it on both sides? Janie, you're pulling Quinn out. Carol, are you going to say anything?
Get Barbara in here. I think she knows some first aid.
I'm not going in that house of snakes!
I will shoot the snakes if they come at you, Barbara. Just get in here.
I don't believe you! It's hard to shoot snakes because they're skinny! You pull Quinn out to the porch, and at this point, Hugo pulls up and gets out with a big gallon of ice water in each hand, and he's like, hey, I got this, or I got one of those styrofoam coolers with the Gatorades.
Not paying any attention because I'm still pushing Quinn back and trying to break line of sight here.
Yes, Quinn, the red thirst has left you. You believe in your mind that you have resolved this issue with a homicide.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the scenario Thunderhead Mesa for Unknown Armies 3rd Edition, published by Atlas Games. Joining us as players in this series are none other than Aaron Hammonds and V from Queen's Court Games, with Greg Stolze as our Gamemaster. The music was made by Atrium Carceri and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient for your gaming table. We also used the official Unknown Armies soundtrack by James Semple with permission from Atlas Games. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julián, Camilla, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Xabier, and Antxon for their generous support. And you would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, you are the cultist.